Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, post market report. I'm laughing. Wednesday, April 17th, 2024. Why am I laughing? I really shouldn't be laughing, honestly. But, look, if you can't find humor in what appears to be, let's talk about that. Most of you who know me, some of you have been with me for a really, really long time. Um, I'm more or less of a macro guy. I try to take in the big picture. What what is everybody missing? Not you, not any of you. Okay, that's a fact. What people are missing here is we are seeing the events that are currently unfolding globally because in we are already in a full-blown crisis of pretty much everything. The world economy is in free fall. Consumers can't get by. The propaganda, the distractions, war keeps expanding. Why is it, do you think, here, honestly, that we're witnessing this phenomenon of rising inflation, expanding war? Is this because we're supposed to expect that some miracle is about to happen? This is all going to change. All of a sudden, things are going to become some beautiful and perfect. No, as you already have been made aware of, there's no comedy of errors here. This is deliberate. Everything we are seeing. Now, earlier today, um, I sent this out here. In your opinion, will the Fed rescue the market, or are we about to see a full on market meltdown? Well, 43% of you said the Fed will rescue the market as they always do, and frankly, I'm sick of it. 10% said it's over. The Fed will not step in, expect a debt market meltdown. The third choice was I expect a vast expansion of war, which will push cash into the perceived safety of debt. That was 47%. So most of you believe that. Second was the Fed will rescue the market. Now, the question is, are we starting to see some of that already? What am I talking about? You watch the 10-year yield? It has dropped 10 basis points in just a couple of days. The US dollar, or the Dixie, the relative strength of the dollar, we are now below 106. So it appears to me that some action or intervention is already taking place. I personally believe, well, two things are going to happen here. And a lot of you did say that in the comments. There were a lot of comments. Miss knows what I'm talking about. Thank you. Said a combination of A, which is the Fed will rescue the market as they always do. And then two is I expect vast expansion of war. There's no doubt about it that we are on a pathway to a much larger war. Again, more spending. The big show was just a prelude. Didn't work. It's astonishing. It was meant to work. It was meant to push. It was meant to fester and foster fear. Didn't work. People were not impressed at all. And I have heard from thousands of you, not at all impressed. Okay. People realize what they're seeing. But again, Congress is not skipping a beat here. Our loving, caring representatives are talking about this weapons package, this foreign aid. You see how they word these things? It's a foreign aid. They can't tell you that this is a weapons package, again, for Israel, for Ukraine, and whoever else they want to send weapons to, Taiwan as well. That's what it really is, 95 billion or so. It's an incredible thing. It's shocking how people, but again, we are watching society decay. I think we're pretty much on the same page with that. People have been indoctrinated into not only a system of fear, but a system of hatred spawned out of fear. Make people afraid of these people, make them afraid of those people, create whatever they can, a wedge between people. Do not allow people to come together, because that would be a big no-no. Because if we came together, as you all know, we could change this entire thing. But that will just never happen. And it's always the same story. Again, we have been, in case you're waking up today, in a currency crisis for decades. Again, the dollar losing 98% of its purchasing power since the Federal Reserve. And this is not just a phenomenon with that central bank. Central banks around the world, you know this, are in a race to the bottom. This is the true reason why we're seeing inflation here. The meltdown of 2008, that was when this really all ended. And then a new system, started to evolve out of this, much more control. Central banks buying everything that they possibly can. And we haven't seen anything with regard to that. You know what they want. They want to buy it all. Be the lenders and buyers of last resort, period, the end. And people are sitting here watching their televisions and transgender sports shows and people licking toilet bowls and whatever it might be. They're very, very entertained, very entertained. It's very entertaining. Real-time fighter jet footage of missiles being shot down. It's beautiful. Watch Top Gun Maverick. Maybe you'll get a thrill out of that too. But, it's what they're doing. Keeping people lulled into some sense of non-urgency. And we are in a state of urgency. We are in a state of urgency here. Don't take my word for it. Let's talk about the IMF as well, which we're going to get to in a moment. I think those of you here who follow this blog realize what's happening. Again, there is clearly a natural selection going on here. There are some people that are able to get it. We can put the dots together. It ain't too hard. And some people, again, they need to ignore this. They can't handle it. Okay, again, people are used to being lied to from day one. From their first breath, they are lied to about things that don't exist, fairy tales. And then when they find out the truth, it's very disturbing. It's very disturbing to them. They don't understand why they were lied to and why they were told untruths here. It's all a mode and a method of control. And then all of a sudden, when they realize, hold on a second here, things are not what they appear to be, makes them angry. Again, you want to make someone really, really pissed off? Tell them the truth about something, and you will become their enemy until they turn around. I can't tell you how many people over the years, I'm out here a long time, have, who were, Greg Mannarino haters who have now turned into, part of our team. Greg, you know what? I was wrong years ago, and I did this. There were people out there who were making videos about me years ago. All of a sudden, some of these people are all my friends. They're like, I just didn't see it, what was going on at that time. Now I do. And it takes time for people to sometimes turn around a little bit. But look, that's where we all come in here. But anyway, with regard to the debt market today, forget the stock market. Let's talk about this real quick before we go on to the IMF and this new warning, which is kind of a repeat performance, but we'll talk about that in a moment. So we had the major averages falling under some pressure, nothing major. And again, we watched the 10-year yield drop. So cash is making its way into debt. Let me just outline that. In fact, I wrote this at the top of my notes. These things are crazy. I got papers everywhere. But a lot of people do not understand how people are used to this. You buy a stock, XYZ, and if there's demand for that stock, it will go up. Now, when people see bond yields rising, they think that, people are buying the debt. It's the polar opposite of that. It's inverse. So when you see bond yields dropping, like we just dropped 10 basis points, that means cash is making its way back into the debt market. So it's the opposite of what you would expect to happen. A debt market sell-off, if we go no bid, like I was talking about this morning, people will try to dump this stuff for anything. And we're going to, again, that's how markets work, okay? As an example, just real quick, for those of you who don't understand this, when a market crashes, it's because everybody is running to the doorway at the same time, whether it be in the bond market or whether it's the stock market or a real estate hyperbubble or whatever it might be. People initially, when they see the markets drop, before panic sets in, okay, they're willing to sell their asset for a specific price. My lions know exactly what I'm talking about here. You never sell at what's called a market order unless you are desperate. When you have stock XYZ you want to sell, if you're selling these things if you're clicking on market order, you're asking to be robbed blind. If I sell an asset, almost never, and I can't say never ever, but almost never, I do not use a market. Even when I buy something, if I'm looking to add to one of my positions, I'm not buying these things at market price. I want it at my price. You understand? So I'm putting in a limit order to buy or a limit order to sell. Okay, keep that in mind. So when you get a crash in the market, when it starts dropping precipitously, or a particular asset or a particular stock, whatever it might be, people are starting to panic, and now they're willing to take anything to get out. And this creates a ripple effect across a whole bunch of things. But anyway, but that's what people do. They start to panic. They might change their limit order. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna mark it down just a little bit. Instead of selling it at asset whatever it might be at X, now I'm gonna mark it down a little bit. Then all of a sudden, bang, 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 bang. Now, I gotta get out. I gotta get out now. Then they start, resorting to market orders, or willing to take whatever it takes for what they're trying to get rid of. And then you see the market crater. So in the case of a no bid, and look, we already see the writing on the wall. We have these auctions for debt, for U.S. debt, supposed to be a great safe haven, and people aren't buying. Okay, we got funds now. They're not touching this stuff anymore. It's very, very possible that we will see. In fact, I am certain that we're going to eventually see a no bid debt market, and you're going to see madness. You talk about a ripple effect here, okay? Madness. Everyone running for the door at the same time, willing to take anything, and that's going to put pressure on the stock market like people aren't going to believe. It's going to be epic, okay? This is how, because again, why? We're in a full-blown crisis, not just a currency crisis. We're in we're in a state of war. Everything's in a crisis right now, and there's no way out. You see, look, let's go to that too real quick. The IMF. The IMF here, let's read this headline, all right? This is my scribble. Let's go over that in a minute. So the IMF is worried about global spillovers. What are they really talking about? Spillovers from loose U.S. fiscal policy. And let me explain this to you. Okay, this is to keep you in a box, okay? This is not just an issue, again, with regard to the United States or what the Federal Reserve is doing. These central banks have been working together here to inflate this. Again, this is not just the fault of the Federal Reserve. Look at what central banks around the world have done, none more so than the European Central Bank and the Fed, I'll give you that, okay, to vastly, vastly, vastly inflate the debt to try to prop this whole thing up here and create this illusion that we are in. But again, the ramifications of this, first of all, it can't be stopped. And the IMF cannot tell you, no one can tell you, nobody except me, okay, and all of you. What we're seeing now, the multiple levels of crises, is that how you say it? Where we are at, can only get monumentally worse from here. And they're getting monumentally worse by design as central banks look for more ways to pull cash into the now, to add to the debt. And a big part of this is the expansion of a war. You all know that. War in 24 sound familiar to you? And this is not, and it's interesting. And I do read through the comments and stuff. Most of you also seem to believe how this is going to play out is war is going to expand. And of course, our loving, caring representatives, and of course, central bankers, they're all going to point towards, well, it's the war. It's this. It's whatever they got in store for us. Another scamdemic. What a combination of all this stuff, because generally they're going to hit you on multiple fronts. This thing, again, they have so much in store for the two of us, all of us here, the two of us. I'm talking as if it's just you and me, but there's a lot of people here right now. Jeffrey knows what I'm talking about. They're going to hit us from multiple angles, but you and I are already from multiple angles here. Okay, so just understand that if you've been with me and you've been following this blog and you've been following our strategy to beat those who are trying to destroy us, well, we're sitting pretty here. You understand? But anyway, so a couple of things, this is what I do. When I read a headline like this and I go through the article, you try to gauge what they're actually trying to say here. Spillovers. So in other words, the ripple effect from easy monetary policy. First of all, loose monetary policy, easy monetary policy, however it works here, has created the situation we're in here. A distortion of the prices of assets like we've never seen. Massive inflation here, a hyper bubble in debt. These are the spillovers. You got to watch for the wording here. They can't tell you what's happening. Now, a couple of things came to mind after I read through this article here. And again, we are in a crisis, and they can't tell you that there's no way out of this. It's going to get much worse from here. And I actually underlined that, as you can see, no way out. But we can counter strategize against this. The reason why there's no way out, you see, the IMF realizes that it is the fault, clearly, of central banks as to why we are here today. It is not. It really isn't not any particular administration. I pick on the last three presidents, including the current freak, for what's going on. But the fact of the matter is, they have no say-so. None at all. You may think they do. They're not kings, all right? They can't decree something, okay? This is central banks who run the economy. They run the markets. They run the system. It's them. And they're the same entities who our loving, caring representatives are going to look to save us from what they are setting up right now, period. Absolutely. But it's interesting today. We seem, every time we've seen, you and me, okay, those of us that pay attention to the MMRI, the Mannarino Market Risk Indicator, which in my opinion is, look, it's my little baby, so maybe I have a little soft spot for it there. But in my opinion, is the best risk indicator that there is, period, the end, out here. Every time we've gotten into a red zone like we are now, and we're just barely in a red zone, again, because the 10-year yield dropped today, the dollar on a relative strength basis came down. These are the calculations, using the golden ratio. Look that up. A lot of you ask me, Greg, why 1.61? It just happens to work. It's a ratio that kind of is magical in a way. Go look it up, the golden ratio. Anyway, it worked with that equation. When I was trying to figure out how to put together the MMRI, I tried a lot of ways to make it work with the scale that I was using. And just ironically, or maybe by divine intervention, the golden ratio just happened to work. And I was like, wow, maybe there's something to the golden ratio. Anyway, so people, look, you understand what's happening. And it's always the same story. No action gets taken until, look, it comes down to this. Nobody knows until everybody knows. People realize that there is a problem, okay, despite the lies and the distortions and the distractions coming out of the mainstream media. People know. People are not as stupid as they want us to believe that we are. Right, Joseph? You know what I'm talking about. But again, in order for people to, when it hits them, it's hitting them already. I mean, people working 2 and 3 jobs here. People in my own neighborhood here, and I'm not going to lie to you, I live in kind of an upscale place, okay? People here in my own community can't make ends meet. And generally these people, my neighbors, are successful. These are people who are big earners. Let's just put it that way, all right? And these people are starting to feel the pinch. So you can only imagine what this means for people in a lesser spot. Unfortunately, it's look, they want you to eat bugs, period, the end, and be happy to do it. They want you to beg. They want you to beg for this new system, because we are in a full-blown crisis. No one's going to react. Our loving, caring representatives, they don't know what to do with themselves, all right? All they know how to do is, for example, here, look at this. I'll show you again. This is the signing of the $369 billion Inflation Reduction Act. How did that work? Look at these things. Look at them all. They can't even look at you. They got to look at the creature signing it. Look at this guy here. He knows something's wrong. Look at that as he covers his genitals. This freak can't believe how they got away with it. Her too. Look at that look on the face. Look at that look. She's like, oh yeah, we got you exactly where we want you. It's an incredible situation. This guy's laughing. He's like, people are imbeciles, and this guy, he's having dirty thoughts. You can probably tell he was probably sizing up this guy's genitals over here. Oh, that would make him gay. Oh, that's a bad word. You can't use that. And you can't use homosexual, because apparently that's offensive as well. Lovely. Anyway, let us move on, people. Let's exactly. Treason. You want to see treason? There it is. You want a picture of it? There it is. It's unbelievable, people. They want us all dead. What else can I tell you? They want us all dead. All right. Anyway, people, is there anything? Look, I know the bull's gone. The guitar. I had to move these cabinets over here. I had to rearrange. I may put things different, but I had to rearrange this office. It was beyond this desk. Still a mess, but I'm working on it. Anyway, um, mommy, man, don't even remind me of that thing, please. I can't take it. You guys and girls, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? The bull. Yeah, I'll never sell that bull. That was a gift given to me, oof, decades ago. Decades ago, and it's important. Mitch knows what I'm talking about. We all have those little special things here. Some people thinking I worship that thing. It's a freaking decoration. Actually, he's bull's right over here now. He's closer to me than he was before. Anyway, people, all right, look, I think we're going to get out of here. We covered a lot here. Um, I really would like to see us improve on these thumbs up. I got over 1,700 people here watching and only 473 thumbs up. Maybe my blood pressure didn't rise enough, right? Anyway, let's take care of that, please, people. If you're here, I hope that you would you want an update on the Copo? First of all, please give me some more thumbs up. I'm getting my parts. My parts for the Copo to repair it are going to be here on Monday. So that car is going to be back in action. I say a week after that, and I will start putting up some more racing stuff. And it's kind of crazy for me, just real quick. I had just got that car dialed in. My best time was I ran an 8:34 quarter mile at 163.7. Man, I was loving life, and then broke the blower, as you all know. So now I got to go back, take a few steps back. Sometimes in life that's the way it goes. A few steps forward, a couple back, but that's okay. All right, people, look, I'm going to let you all go. I hope you got something out of this. I know I'm preaching to the choir for the most part, but comment, let me know what you think. And, well, I will see all of you in the morning as usual. Now, until that time, what am I going to tell you? Take care of yourselves and take care of each other, all right? Love you a lot from the heart. I mean that. Thank you for being here and everything else. See you in the morning.